Hey, welcome back to another episode of Tune Quest. Today we're looking at Rein Me In by Sam Fender and Olivia Dean. Let's start with Sam Fender's guitar part. It translates to the piano like this. Okay, so this is awesome, right? Let's start with the left hand playing octaves. So we start with a G sharp octave, and that goes to a C sharp octave, which goes to an F sharp octave, walks up to A octave, okay? So that's the simplified left hand. Now the right hand follows the left hand with triads. So we get started with this G sharp minor triad, just like this, okay? Now the pattern that the right hand follows, we go up the notes like that, then back down, and then dance between those two bottom notes, and then top, middle, okay? Like that. Now the next chord is this. This is a C sharp minor triad in its second inversion, which means that the fifth is on the bottom. We follow the same pattern. Like that. Then the next chord, we have an A major triad in the right hand. Same pattern. And that stays the same when the left hand goes to an A. Okay, so that's the simplified version. Let me play it. Okay, now the advanced version is we add some extra movement in the bass like this. Okay, so we walk through this B to get to the C sharp. Then we go here. And then we walk through that G sharp to get to the A. And then we walk from the F sharp back to the G sharp. Okay, so that's the bass movement. And then also there's this thing at the end. Okay, so this is something Sam Fender plays in the guitar part. So we jump up with that middle finger to G sharp, thumb on E, middle finger goes to the F sharp there, okay? So that is the guitar part translated to the piano. Now I find this a really interesting way to learn and find new patterns on the piano, right? Because we're translating a guitar rhythm onto the piano. So that's why this is an interesting pattern. And this is what I call tune mining, right? You take a tune and you mine it for its gold and for its skills and like what can we learn from this tune. And this is how I approach learning tunes on the piano. And yeah, that's what we do on this channel. So if you like that kind of approach to learning music, then definitely subscribe. Okay, let's continue. Let's move into the verse, okay? So let's keep the left hand simple with just octaves for now. So the verse melody kind of goes like this. Okay, so that's kind of like the main melodic idea. Okay, so the melody contour generally follows these notes, okay? So have your pinky starting on that B, then your middle finger goes G sharp, second goes to F sharp, thumb always lands on that E, and that allows us to pivot here to that C sharp, and then sometimes up to that F sharp, okay? That's where most of the melodic ideas take place, and they're generally the same throughout the whole verse, okay? Now, let's level up the left hand a little bit to add a bit of movement. What we can do is this. Okay, so what we're doing now is we have that octave shape, and we're just alternating between the pinky and then the second finger playing the fifth of the chord and the thumb playing the octave, like that. We can do the same thing on C sharp. Same thing on F. Walk up, same thing on A, walk back, okay? So with the melody. Okay, so there we go. Let's add a little bit more movement by using an arpeggio pattern, okay? So it's going to be like this. That's the arpeggio we're going to use. So it's the same notes, same hand position here. We're just doing this rocking pattern, right? We're going do do da do 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 da do 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 rather than do do da do do da do. That's not very guitar-like, whereas this rocking pattern gives us that guitar feeling, that bouncy feeling of the song. So with the melody, okay, and there we go. We're playing Rein Me In by Sam Fender, and it sounds great, right? And it's got a little bit of rhythm and movement to it. Okay, let's transition now to the chorus. The left hand is going to be doing the same thing, okay, for now. It's the same chord progression is what I mean. And now the chorus has a new melody, of course, which goes like this. Okay, so it's really simple. We start on a B 3 times, and then F sharp, G sharp, E. Okay? And then the next time around, it's the same thing. Not that. It's the same thing. Do, 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 where it goes C sharp back to B, okay? Yeah, so notice I'm adding a little bit of extra coloring notes in the right hand. So like here, I'm keeping the thumb there on that B just for an extra bit of taste. And then here when we go to this, I'm playing that A major shape again. And there, we play that A major shape, and then the second finger can just land that B for the melody. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Let's level up the left hand to play a new bass movement, which is going to be like this. Okay, so I'm using a stride technique here, okay? Because when it comes to playing a chorus, we want to level up the dynamics a little bit, right? So what I'm doing is I'm landing the bass octave here, and then we're jumping up. This is a stride technique, right? You play it, and then you jump up, and then we're going to play this shape again, like that. And then for the C sharp rather, we're going to do this, but we're going to play a triad, like that. And then for the F sharp, A, dum, dum. So that's the left hand, right? So with the melody, now in the third time through the chorus progression, we have this part. Okay, so Sam he sings on this F sharp note, okay? So the melody, this is a classic example of how melody is composed in a chorus. So typically a chorus repeats like 4 times, right, through the chord progression. Now the first 2 times, a melody is established, right? The main idea of a melody, the melodic hook. Okay, and then the third time through that progression, it changes to something else to have like a contrast to the main idea. And that's where Sam Fender kind of goes like this. And then 4th time through, he comes back to the first idea, okay? So that's just a little lesson on how melody is composed, okay? So that's essentially the chorus. Now, what we've covered here is a whole bunch of different like ways to play the left hand, and we've looked at the verse, and we've looked at the melody and kind of the different shapes from which the melody is composed. So now what you want to do is just kind of like combine a whole bunch of those different pieces that we've looked at, right? So then you could come back to the guitar part. Notice I'm playing it up an octave, right? You could do it all the way up another octave. Okay, so that's a really great way to approach playing the piano and playing your favorite songs. You don't want to be stuck in like one specific way of learning and playing a particular piece of music. I find that a little bit limiting, and maybe you will as well. So it's also nice to be able to improvise over this music as well, right? So what we can use to improvise over this is the C sharp minor pentatonic scale, which goes C sharp, E, F sharp, G, and B, and then back up to C sharp, right? 5-note scale. Guess what? This is the scale from which the melody was composed, right? Check it out. Right, these 3 notes are in this scale, right? It's all from this C sharp pentatonic scale. It's the same with the verse melody, right? Okay, so what that means is that we can use the scale to improvise over this chord progression, right? So once you feel confident to play the left hand like this maybe, and you've sussed out these notes of the C sharp minor pentatonic scale, you can just improvise, right? Okay, and then just have a bit of fun with it. Try out the different left-hand patterns. Once you get really confident, you can maybe combine, for example, this one, this kind of stride pattern with improvising. Go back to the guitar part. Yeah, so that's how to play Sam Fender and Olivia Dean's Rein Me In. And yeah, we've covered a whole bunch of different stuff here, and hopefully this gets you having fun and being creative and playing the song on the piano and jamming out. All my links are below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.